um, licensing of what he has done all across MWR Financial has helped propel this company to become the ultimate cash flow company. Guys, listen, let me bring to the stage no other, Mr. President, Mr. Ndamo Tosin.
Hey, how are you, Daryl? How are you?
Man, listen, we're just so excited about what we're going to hear tonight. We thank you so much for what you are bringing, the value to MWR Financial. The platform is yours, sir.
Thank you, Daryl. Appreciate all that you do and always being consistent, getting us ready for this amazing night tonight. Now, ladies and gentlemen, super excited about talking with you tonight. You heard last week from our great CEO and founder, Mr. Brian House, that we had a couple major announcements. Well, here's the very first one. It's regarding MWR HealthShare. This is where you're going to learn all about it. I know a lot of people are coming in, so you're going to make sure they keep coming in because it's going to be powerful. And I will tell you, we have our expert that is here that's going to give you a complete overview and understanding of the program. We're going to get questions answered. We're going to get all that done tonight. But what we want to do is we don't want to leave any time wasted. We want to bring on the MWR HealthShare expert, Miss Eileen Ryan. Eileen, how are you?
Wonderful, Ndamo. Thank you for having me. Hello, everybody out there in the virtual world. I'm excited to be here. So let's get this presentation started and let's see if I can let you understand how you can get that cash flow increased in your life through something called healthcare sharing. Now, MWR HealthShare is provided by Impact Health Sharing. Impact is a not-for-profit healthcare sharing organization. And a lot of you have probably never heard of healthcare sharing. And it is an option, a unique, affordable, accessible option to health insurance. So what that means then is it is not health insurance. And the key differentiator between the two is that health insurance has what's called a so-called guarantee to pay. They're gonna pay for everything. Well, you're gonna see momentarily on one of the slides that that's not always the case. So healthcare sharing came on the scene about 40 years ago. It's not new. It started in the religious communities where folks said, rather than send all this money for insurance premiums to the big insurance companies, let's get together with our community and we will share in paying one another's medical expenses. Fast forward to 2010 when the Affordable Care Act was passed. People went into the marketplace all eager and excited and thought they were going to be able to afford healthcare, and they found out what they got, oftentimes was very high premiums, skinny policies, high deductibles, very limited networks. And so being dissatisfied with that, they started moving into these healthcare sharing organizations. So from 2010 to today, it's really taken off. What you have to bring to your folks is a modern healthcare sharing alternative. And so why I say that is in the past, how it worked was members got together and they shared their eligible medical bills. Well, with MWR Healthcare, we have a proprietary technology and platform that has 5 patents on it, and it allows members to open up their own bank accounts when they become members with our third-party fiduciary, America's Christian Credit Union. They pay their monthly share amounts, and they allow the technology through MWR HealthShare provided by Impact to go in and pull and share one another's medical expenses. So what do I mean by that? So let's say that Ndamo's family, a family of 4, is paying $480 a month for their health care. And then I have a bill that comes in, and my bill is eligible to be shared, and that is a $500 bill. The algorithm, the technology will run, and it will pull a little bit of money from Ndamo's account, a little bit of money from Martine's account, and it will pay my bill, all in the background without any of us knowing one another. And why that's important is in the old days, and a lot of healthcare sharing still work like this today, you had to write a check, like, I'm going to pay, Andamo, I'm going to pay your bill. Well, we call ourselves the Uber for healthcare sharing, because you pay into your healthcare sharing every month, and then members' eligible bills and your eligible bills are matched by an algorithm that runs in the background, and it pays the bill. And that's why we call this an industry disruptor. Now, I said before, the difference between healthcare sharing and health insurance is so-called promise to pay. We're going to pay for everything. Well, the majority of the population has had at least one medical expense show up on their credit report unknown. Why? Because they thought that was something that was taken care of. And so what Americans have learned, the number one cause for bankruptcy in America today is unpaid medical bills. And what we have learned is healthcare continues to outpace inflation. People simply cannot afford healthcare. And so we have approximately 91 million people out there that either have skinny policies or no insurance at all. So that's a lot of people that could be helped by healthcare sharing through MWR. Then there's also the people that you know, and you may be one of them, right? That you are in the ACA marketplace and you're paying $1,300, $1,400 a month for your health insurance. And you, like most Americans, 80-something% never reach their deductible. You don't use it. So you're paying for this 5% of the population that incurs 50% of the medical spend. And why this is unique to you is I would gather that the majority of the people on this call tonight have never heard of healthcare sharing. And so that's something that MWR healthcare sharing is bringing to you, a way for you to put more cash back in your pocket by becoming a healthcare sharing member and, seeing that savings for yourself. Now, it's not for everyone. If you have pre-existing conditions that require medications, chronic illnesses, anything of that nature, we are completely transparent. And when the enrollment educators speak to folks, they'll let them know, you know what, this just is not a fit for you. We intentionally do not have sales teams. We have our guidelines that are posted that lets consumers know everything that is eligible to be shared/paid by the sharing community and everything that is not. And the easiest way to discern between the two is anything that somebody's taking medication for or has had a diagnosis for or who had been tested for, that will not be eligible to be shared by the sharing community. Now you're probably thinking, oh, darn it, I have high cholesterol or I have high blood pressure. Don't worry about those two. In our guidelines that are published, again, fully transparent, it says that your annual visit for your doctors, if you have high cholesterol or high blood pressure, is not going to be eligible to be shared. But if you have your cholesterol and your blood pressure under control through that medication, in other words, you're doing your best, you're doing your part, you go to the doctor once a year, they give you your medication and you're taking it, God forbid you were to have a heart attack or a stroke, that big ticket item is eligible to be shared. So most people, they don't have pre-X, but those that do, the three biggies are high cholesterol, high blood pressure, and diabetes. We tell anybody who has diabetes, this really is not going to be a fit for you because this will be a chronic thing that you're going to have to deal with. But anybody with high blood pressure and high cholesterol, as long as you're taking your medication, God forbid you had that heart attack or stroke, this would be a fit for you. Another benefit to Impact and MWR HealthShare is there is no network. Our members can see any doctors that they want. They can go to any treatment facility that they want. We had a member post on one of our Facebook lives the other day to let us know that 3 months after he joined, he found out that he had cancer. And prior to that, he didn't have any health care. So what warms our heart about stories like that is knowing that we are bringing to market an affordable option for folks. And when I say bringing to market, we have been in business for 4 years now. We are a 501c3 not-for-profit. So we pay our providers bills quickly. We pay our members medical bills quickly. You know why? Because we don't get a prize for hanging on to the money. We don't have shareholders to report to, profits and earnings. We are there solely, as a not-for-profit, we exist solely for the benefit of our members. We offer every member a no-cost annual physical wellness check with $150 lab credit. We encourage everybody to get that. There's no cost to them. The telehealth is 24/7, no cost. We have a industry-leading discount prescription program. Some people have looked at the prescription prices and determined just that alone, what they would save would be reason to switch. Again, no network. We don't tell our members what doctor they can go to. We don't say you can't go to the Mayo Clinic to be treated. We don't say you can't have 3 opinions for your back injury, for your back surgery. None of those things are a part of what Impact brings to the sharing community. Instead, we are member-centric. Everything is completely transparent in the guidelines, and it's completely robust. Everything from maternity to cancer treatments. We have NICU babies. We have people with hip replacements, back surgeries, preventative mammograms, colonoscopies, pap smears. All of that is eligible to be shared by the sharing community. Now, how does it work? Well, what you're used to hearing with traditional health insurance is you're used to the term deductible. We're not insurance, so we use the term PRA, primary responsibility amount. So when somebody wants to become a member, and we have open enrollment all year long, you can come in and out of the membership as any time of the year. It's not one time of the year that there's open enrollment. And so folks, the pricing goes by the age of the oldest member in the household, and then they select how many members are in their family, and the pricing stops after 3. So it doesn't matter if you have 7 kids, 5 kids, doesn't matter. The pricing stays the same. And then the consumer, chooses what PRA, primary responsibility amount they want. And as you can see on this screen, the price goes down as the PRA goes up. So it's kind of a risk reward thing. I always go for the lowest PRA. And another thing that's unique about MWR HealthShare as compared to health insurance is this is a family PRA. So if you do have a family of 4 or 5, once the family's combined medical expenses reach, say you selected 2,500, sorry, I was very sensitive, touch that screen. Once that reaches 2,500, then all eligible medical expenses will be paid less a 10% co-share. So hear that. So once the family's 2,500, if that's what they selected, PRA for the year has been met, then all the family is responsible for is a 10% co-share. That's quite robust. We also have, let me take, for example, chiropractic. We have chiropractic, physical therapy. Like I said, it's a very comprehensive program. So everybody in the membership, so you're a family of 5, gets 50 chiropractic visits a year. Now, nothing is eligible to be shared / paid by the sharing community until that PRA has been met. But let's say that the husband and wife, they like going to the chiropractor and they like doing this for wellness on a regular basis. Then that's 100 visits that they get. So once that PRA has been met for the family's collective bills, after that, all they're paying is the 10% co-share. So it is not only robust, the cost is lower, putting cash back, but a very unique value prop is that it's a family PRA. And I know it probably seemed to be harping on that, that's a big deal. Most people don't even know what their insurance policy deductibles are. You want to know why? Because they love that, insurance companies. Most people don't come anywhere near ever meeting their deductible, meaning they are paying every month large premiums for something that they'll never use. Okay, so I said how it works. So each month, the share amount is drafted from, again, we don't have access to your money. That goes with a third party. When you set up your membership, there's a third party fiduciary, ACCU, your money's there. We draw the share amount based on the PRA that you selected, and that gets assigned to other people's medical bills that are in the sharing community based on this technology, this patented technology that we use. You don't do a thing. However, transparency is so important to us. You see it all. This patented technology that I talked about, you will get a member center where you can log in and you can see not only your dashboard, your explanation of bills that have been paid. You can see in what's called a share stream whose medical bills your money has gone to pay. And you can see a community dashboard that shows you the financial health of the sharing community, how much money is in reserves, how many bills are outstanding, how quickly we're paying bills. I logged in tonight and I looked and I saw that we're paying medical bills in 4 business days right now. So after they come in, they get processed, and those medical bills are being paid in 4 business days. Now, when I say they come in, where do they come in from? Well, that's the beauty. It works just like insurance, only it's better, right? So on the back of your card, there's something called a BIN number for your prescriptions that you give the card to the pharmacist and they recognize that you get the discounted prescriptions. And then there's something called an EDI payer ID number. If any of you out there right now have any kind of health insurance, pull out your card and you look on the back, there's an EDI payer ID number. All members will get a card with the EDI payer ID, and that's how those bills get submitted to us for processing. No different than the way they get submitted with your insurer. Okay. Now, one of the questions that Andalmo sent to me was, who's this for? Well, it's for 1099 contractors, for anybody who is paying their own insurance, small business owners, gig economy workers, single people, young people who have rolled off their parents' insurance, and much to their surprise, they are now financially responsible to pay their own health care, and seniors. We have a phenomenal senior program. Of those of you who know anything about Medicare, when people turn 65 and they go on Medicare, Medicare A and B only pays 80% of doctors and hospital bills. That leaves the seniors responsible for getting something to take care of the other 20%. With this program, we pick up the 20% that Medicare does not pay. And Pre-X does not apply to the seniors. Okay, so it's a terrific option for seniors. It's a terrific option for small business owners to not only take care of their own health care, but to attract and retain employees. Okay, and I said that the application goes by the date of birth. The number of applicants, the cost goes by the date of birth. I'm actually glad I said application, because I saw a question that Andalmo had sent me asking, do people get denied? What if one spouse gets denied and the other spouse doesn't? Nobody gets denied. Anybody can become a member, but what's really important to us is that they have a call with an educator and that they tell us about their health history and ask us their questions, because we just want to make sure that it's a right fit for them, right? So we don't deny anybody. Anybody can become a member, but we want to make sure that it's a fit for them. Employers who have employees of 49 or less. Now, that is the sweet spot, is small employer groups. Anybody like that you know that has a small business and they are paying either all or part of their employees' healthcare, you can save them tremendously with this option with healthcare sharing. And the employers get an employer dashboard. They can log in, they can see what what they're paying for each. They can pull employees in, take employees out as people come and go with their company. The technology is phenomenal. We're very proud to bring that to consumers, to have a healthcare sharing option that's not the old-fashioned way, but where you write a check and send it to somebody. It is all done through technology, and we're very proud of the transparency too, that you get to see everything that's done. And so with small business owners, we can save them a significant amount. And when I was speaking to somebody about this earlier today, they said, well, what's the average savings? I really can't say that. I can tell you that we have been able to save people anywhere from 30 to 50, and businesses I've seen upwards to 70. But the key here is to not make off the wall promises to people. It's going to be determined by what do they have now. Do they have a PPO? Do they have an HMO? Do they have a bronze plan? Do they have a gold plan? All those plans are in the ACA marketplace to make your head spin. But it's going to depend on what do they have now and how much are they paying. That will be unique to them as far as how much they can save. I can just tell you as a not-for-profit that the monthly share amounts are going to be significantly lower. I just can't promise a percentage. But again, that's what our enrollment educators are there to do and help folks with as they get referred through the pipeline. So I'm going to kick it back over to Andalmo because he's got some great questions that you all sent in, and I'd like to be able to address those.
Wow, that's outstanding, Eileen. I think if everyone really, gets and understands what you just said, one of the great things is it's not insurance, but it allows the freedom to be able to pick your doctors. Mm-hmm. So it's like a PPO in a different environment where if you can just pick your doctors, you don't have to wait for referrals and all those kinds of things, because you can just go and get what you need to have done. I love the fact that I know a lot of people are wondering, because we have a lot of small business people, a lot of entrepreneurs that are with us, a part of our membership and our network. And so now they get to see that, wow, I can actually have a program where I didn't have any medical benefits for my employees at all. Now mm-hmm. I can bring them something that can really be impactful and help them. So that's powerful. You did a phenomenal job explaining everything, but let's ask a few questions that I know some people wanted to know, some of these you've touched on, but I think yes. Asking the question, they hear it specifically, then they go, oh, okay, gotcha. So I'm gonna make the very simple one that a lot of people have asked, and you've already touched on it, but I'm gonna let you just refocus everybody into exactly mm-hmm. what MWR HealthShare will be versus, or in a comparison to someone's health insurance. Because they wonder, do I keep my health insurance and have this as a secondary, or do I get rid of my health insurance and go forward just with MWR HealthShare? So can you compare health insurance, I know you've touched on this, to health sharing?
Well, let's just stay with the first. If you have health insurance and you are happy with that, remember, it's a risk reward thing. You pay this large premium. You've got these deductibles that you're never going to reach. Right. And why do you have it? In case, God forbid, you get cancer, you need this $200,000 surgery, the kids have to be airlifted. So that's why you are in that risk reward market. Okay. Mm-hmm. Well, with MWR HealthShare, all of those things that I just said, the $200,000 surgery, the NICUs, all of that is going to be, provided it is not pre-existing, eligible to be shared. When I say shared, that means paid by the community. Am I frozen?
Yeah, you were. So can you say that last part again? That last
Yes,
little
yes,
sentence.
yes, yes. So with MWR HealthShare, all of those things that I just said, the NICU, the $200,000 surgery, cancer treatments, all that are going to be, provided they're not pre-X. When you answered your questionnaire, you didn't already say no back injury, no cancer. Provided it's not pre-X, they will be eligible to be shared. Being shared is things paid by the sharing community. Okay. So then you have to say to yourself, well, do I want to pay this amount and have something there for me if I need it, or do I want to pay this amount? That's going to be up to the consumer to decide. We're going to be completely transparent when they speak to our enrollment educators. They're going to get all their questions answered. You know, people have a lot of things that are unique to their family that they want to ask. And so we intentionally don't have salespeople. Their calls are monitored and reviewed for compliance. It's very important that they're doing right by the consumer, because I don't know if I said this in the beginning, but with a healthcare sharing organization and it's Impact Health Sharing that is powering this, right? We're the not-for-profit 501c3. We are based on the Christ-centered principles of love thy neighbor. Like just do right. So
Right.
that's very important to us. So I know that was a long answer, Andamo, but I would say if you do have insurance and you want to keep it and you got Impact, that MWR, that would be your secondary. Okay. But if you were trying to decide, well, should I, my family, we don't ever reach our deductible, we don't have all these pre-existing issues, you will do a price calculation and you might come to that decision that you want to put that money back in your pocket and use it for something else that will benefit your family. So it's a personal decision, but we'll help you with it.
Right, and that's the big thing. We're experts, and that's what all of MWR services do. Our membership, the experts kind of help navigate, because everybody has a little bit different scenario, situation, so they're able to talk to the experts to explain their specific situation to determine if this is going to be a better fit for them or not. So I love that the experts are there again to do the work for them, to help them really understand things, as in all of our other services, ladies and gentlemen. So what you're able to do is get that kind of specific help, and then you can make the determination to go forward or not. So that's a beautiful thing. Speaking of families, because you talked about this earlier, but I just want to make sure we kind of wrap our arms around this. So if I had someone, like let's say it was me and I'm okay, but my wife had, say, a pre-existing condition. She had diabetes. I would just use that was one of the ones you said. She has diabetes, so that means she's going to have continuing things going on. So she would not be a fit for health sharing and would not get approved. But if she's in my family, what are the dynamics there in terms of one spouse gets approved, the other spouse doesn't?
Oh, so there's no approval. Anybody can become a member, right? But we would just really hear, like, okay, what kind of, is it type 1 diabetes? Because that's going to be lifelong. Is it type 2? And are you maybe on a product like Ozempic or, then that, so pre-X is 3 years from the last time you took medication or had a diagnosis. So if it's a type 2 diabetes that's mild and they believe they can control it with lifestyle, then they might make the decision, depending on what they're paying. I don't know what they're paying for health insurance, but we'll help them. We'll answer their questions honestly, thoughtfully, and then it will just be, up to them whether or not it's, a good fit for them.
Okay. Well, then one other question is, does this, because we have people here in the United States, but we also have people, say, in Puerto Rico, one of our territories, and then the Virgin Islands. Will they have the ability to utilize the MWR HealthShare program in those countries?
All U.S. territories, yes. And outside of the country, if you are traveling, you wouldn't have to buy travel insurance, because if you're a member outside of the country in case of emergencies. So for emergent situations, yes, outside of the country. And to answer your questions, yes, anybody who lives in a U.S. territory. Also, people who can become members who they're not U.S. citizens and they have an ITIN number and a government issued ID from either the U.S., which there's 16 states that issued driver's licenses and that counts, or U.S., Mexico, Canada, or Guatemala.
Okay, fantastic. That's wonderful news. One other question, I'm just looking at the different questions I have here. Is the out-of-pocket, so the deductible, where we don't call it a deductible, we call it a PRA. Yes. Is a PRA that's paid first? You're paying you are paying your monthly cost, your cost share. You're paying that. You pay your deductibles first, but they're pretty low because mine was $7,500, and you're right, I never ever reach it. So, but you're paying that first, and then once that's paid, now the sharing of the bills take place after that point. Is that accurate?
And it's only 10%. But what you are getting is you get that annual physical. We want everybody to go to the doctor, get a physical, and their labs. That has nothing to do with the PRA. That's 100% shared. Then you have the unlimited telehealth, which is my favorite. I like to just do that from the comfort of my home, and then they call it into Walgreens and I DoorDash my prescription. I never have to leave my house. That's how I roll. But so those two are exceptions. That has nothing to do with the PRA. Then beyond that, once the families, collective bills have reached say they selected 2,500 PRA, then after that, everything, all the eligible bills, they only pay 10%.
Got you. So then that's a very good point, because there's a lot of things that we do just to maintain good health and getting checkups, that those are things are just covered with the sharing. It doesn't even talk about the PRA, but then you had a situation like my own personal situation. My son, back when he was 12 years old, he wound up breaking his femur. Pretty significant. That's a big surgery. I know. He broke both of them too. One different times. I know, poor guy. But what he did was what we would do in that environment, because our family was healthy, everybody was pretty healthy, so we really never needed to insurance. We were paying it, but it was just money going out. It was nothing benefiting us. And then that happened. What would have happened in that case, we would have probably hit our $2,500 deductible, pay that. And then the rest of the bills going forward, or any bills that were associated with that, we would just be paying 10%. And then the health sharing portion, 90% would have been taken care of.
Correct. And then let's say if it's not something like catastrophic like that, like we, maybe like my knee surgery. So, that was $6,000. So then what ends up happening is, so then we liaison for the members and we contact, the billing folks there, and we say, okay, what's the surgery date? Yes, this is eligible. The member has a $2,500 PRA. And then some of the providers want to be paid upfront, that difference. Others will say, we'll bill you. We just, depending on the geographical location, you can just see why the state healthcare is a mess. I mean, we've had people say, providers, this is going to be $16,000 if you want me to bill you, or if you pay me right now, it's $8,000. So we'll just pay it. But you can see that. But we actually have that conversation with them and say, and we're willing to prepay on behalf of our members. And that saves the membership, but you can see that insurance companies aren't doing. They can't. They're too big. Lord knows what they're paying, and then that drives up costs. And certainly the 5% that incur 50% of the medical bills, they continue to drive up costs. And then people like you with the $7,500 deductible that never come near it, you're just paying these big premiums so that you have something that's there for you. And I think what MWR wanted to do, because it's all about putting cash flow back, is to bring to your awareness that there is an alternative, a unique alternative out there that brings cost savings, and it brings you, the choice. It puts the power and the choice back. They're not telling you like you can only see these doctors.
Right.
That's another thing that ends up happening.
No, that's significant. And you said, you was very well said, Eileen, because I've had several conversations with our great CEO and founder, Mr. Brian House, and that was what he really resonated with him, is that people would be able to truly control their costs of their healthcare, where we were able to look and see that healthcare since 2000 has tripled for people, even though people's incomes have only gone up by 12% on average. So you go, that disparity is just way off. So this gives people the chance to control their healthcare, have significant savings. Because I know for me, our family, and through the blessings, look at that, Brian said, I got to jump in here because I'm so excited. But through the blessings of God blessed us with a pretty healthy family. So we've just been paying these. And the reason why I have high deductibles, because I wanted to have a lower premium. And that lower premium was still $1,100 a month. It's crazy. Brian, you're right here. What's going on?
I had to jump in, and I wasn't going to be on here at all in Damo, but I was listening to you guys. And so, but there was a few things I wanted to ask Eileen real quick that her and I had the opportunity to talk about. And I think it's very important for our members. And we didn't cover it when we actually introduced this the other night in Damo. But Eileen, you and I had a conversation, and we have a lot of people in the Spanish community that maybe are working here. They're working on a work permit, whatever it may be, and they have an I-10 number, but they don't have a social. Okay. Are they eligible to be able to participate in?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes, sir. And Brian, I'm glad you brought that up. All of the materials are also in Spanish, and there's bilingual enrollment educators, bilingual member services representatives. So if, English is not really their first language, we're there to help them in their language.
That's awesome. Another thing too is that you said something to me when we were talking about, and what I love about this, especially for employers, you have a lot of employees a lot of times that maybe you have to let go, or maybe they end up transitioning in a job and they end up having to face COBRA to transfer from one job to the other and for their health insurance until they get other health insurance. With this, their membership just goes with them.
Yep.
So they don't have to deal with COBRA.
Yes, absolutely.
I love that. I love that. And I'm going to give my own personal testimony. And I know results may vary for everyone. Everybody's results may be different. But I know my wife, Kelly, Jack, my son, my 10-year-old son, and myself, through a insurance company that's very, very, very popular. Okay. We were paying $1,375 per month with a $5,000 deductible. And we never met that deductible because, like you said, we really don't ever go to the doctor. If we do, it's, maybe an urgent treatment, or we do a telemedicine over the phone or something with our doctor's office, and they call us in an antibiotic if we need it. But at the same time, we went from $1,375 a month and a $5,000 deductible. But with MWR HealthShare and what we're doing with Impact here, we dropped down to $708 a month, which you got to see that, Eileen, in the system when we completed our enrollment, and a $2,500 copay, which I thought was absolutely phenomenal, because that's over $8,000 a year that my family saved alone. And this is one of the reasons why when we saw this, there was no way we could not bring this to MWR's members, especially from the perspective of being able to help people increase or create more cash flow out of their existing income. This was an absolutely perfect fit. The other thing is too, Eileen, that I want to point out is that in our industry, there are a lot of people that get to the point they're making really good money, but a lot of times they will keep a job just to maintain insurance instead of being able to do what they love full time. And I love the idea that this gives them the opportunity to be able to do that without the high cost associated with health insurance. So I just wanted to point those things out. And I wanted to thank you too, Eileen. I appreciate you and all. You've been so responsive. Everything we've needed, you've been right there. Your all staff is amazing. And so we're just blessed to be working with you. And I just wanted to tell you how grateful we are.
No, I'm grateful. I love your mission. I love what you're doing when you educated me on it, and that you care to do your research on this and bring something to these folks at MWR that they would have probably not heard about or known about. I bet a lot of people didn't know the healthcare sharing is out there.
I didn't know until it was brought to me. So
yes,
it's beautiful.
Yes. No, Brian, you hit on a couple things. So let me ask you, because I know for me, when I just went in just to get an idea of what it would be, for me, I was paying $11.09 for my wife and I and my 23-year-old son. Then it's going literally January 1 or January 31st when I make the payment there, it's going to be $13.49. So literally $300 increase or $200 and some change increase. Then what it did, and I have a $7,500 deductible. So now it would be $2,500 deductible, $589 would be the HealthShare monthly price. So that literally saves me over $700 a month, which is over $8,400 a year. That is huge. I can't even tell you how excited I am about that. So this is pretty exciting. And Brian, one thing that you said about what we do in terms of helping people increase their cash flow out of their existing cash flow, their household, and this does that, but we also are able to help people literally navigate through the processes. And here's the beautiful thing about it. A lot of people have questions, they may have ideas, but now the experts, they can actually talk and have a consultation to determine the right fit for them and then move forward or not. That is the beautiful thing.
It is. And guys, they have a section on the site where you can actually ask questions and things like that. They have a Q&A section. They have great video content for us that explains everything. Here's something else that I got to point out. Going through the process, Eileen, and I want everybody to know this, it literally took me less than probably 15 minutes to do this for me, my son, and my wife. And I remember what the healthcare or the health insurance process was. And I promise you, it took me way longer than 15 minutes to deal with all that. Yeah. And so it was amazing how simple it was to go through the enrollment. And then as soon as I was done enrolling, I did have to provide, because we bought a new house. And so I had to send in some address verification stuff real quick online. Which was no big deal. But if you don't have to do that, literally, I logged in, had my membership card, everything. And guys, I want you to understand, when you go to the doctor, when you go to the hospital, when you go any of these places, and I'm sure you probably already covered this, Eileen, you just hand them your card just like you would hand them your insurance card.
Right.
Okay. And they bill, the impact for just like they would insurance.
Right.
Okay, so nothing different, guys, nothing different there.
Yeah, and just keep in mind the savings is because we're not for profit. Exactly. And that's, because people, wonder naturally, well, how could it not for profit? And we want to pay your providers really quickly because we don't get any prize or award for keeping extra money as a not-for-profit, right?
Yeah. Right. And Eileen, I got to say this, and everybody knows me. They know my faith. They know exactly how I feel about my Lord and Savior, and I respect everybody's faith. But I respect my own. One of the things I really love is that this is a Christian-based organization. This is an organization that even when you enroll, you have to agree to a certain set of ethics that I just thought was amazing. Because you don't see a lot of companies that do that these days, and they hide their faith. They don't put it out there. And I just loved it because it was so fair. It discriminates against no one. And it just shows a ton of love for everybody with what you guys are doing. And so I just think that's an amazing blessing as well. So with that, guys, I'm going to get off here. Go
I want you to stay there for just one moment, because I have two basic questions that I think we can be answered real quickly. Then we're going to have Martina direct us where we go in the back office so people know right where to go to kind of get this done. It makes it very easy for them, and then we'll end with that. So let's do this. There's two real simple questions. Someone asked, can a PRA be paid with a credit card, debit card, anything like that? Can their PRA be paid with the normal ways that people pay things these days?
Well, remember, they're paying their PRA based on bills to a provider.
Okay, so just however the provider takes those bills, that's how they would pay them.
Yes.
Okay, terrific. And then the final question that I think was asked, just want to make sure. Where was I? I had it. Maybe I don't have it anymore. I think it was asked. Let's see.
I did get a question, Dom. What if a person has Medicaid?
Okay, well, there's a good one. Yes.
Yeah. So no, if they have Medicaid, then they have met some specific qualifications that, in all fairness, that's the best fit for them. They shouldn't go anywhere else.
Yeah. And Medicaid is usually very, very inexpensive.
Yes.
And so I doubt there's going to be much of a savings. But when you compare this to conventional insurance that's out there for most people, health insurance, guys, it's been amazing. Dom and I can tell you, Christy Howard, Brian Bean, several of the leaders that when we first introduced this and they went in and got their quotes and saw everything, I remember Christy texting me and going, how fast can I sign up with this thing? My premium is getting ready to go up, and this is going to save me like $300, $400, $500 a month. She was so excited about it. But it's not going to be for everybody, guys. Right. It's not going to be for everybody. But there is a large percentage of people that we can make a huge difference for, and even their employers. And I love that too. I was talking to a very successful business owner today that I told him what I did, and it has nothing to do with our business. Okay. But we're good friends. And he was like, what if I set my employees up on this? I said, get a membership, go in, sign up and with it, enroll and see what it'll do for you. They'll walk you through it. But he's excited because if he can get the same type of results for his employees that our members are getting that are utilizing it, it could be a 30, 40, 50% discount or more, whatever it may end up being, for his employees and him, which means he can do other things to provide other benefits to his employees that maybe he's not able to do now, or maybe raises to those employees, which I love. I love the idea that it can have that type of an impact.
No, I love that. And these are the other couple questions, because and Brian, he can speak to this. You don't need to have a physical. You don't need to take a blood test. That's not going to be required to obtain the MWR HealthShare. And there's no, in terms of who determines the pre-existing conditions or that may deem you unqualified, that really is that based on the MIB that from you?
Nope. Great question. Nope.
Okay.
It's all, like Brian said, we are a Christian-based organization, and we're doing this for the right reason, to build a community of like-minded people. So we go all on the honor system based on how people answer the medical questions in their application. Now, they might answer something and it'll pop up and say, oh, this, just so you know, this might be pre-existing, depending on how you answer the rest of the questions. But it's all based on the honor system. And then we go on medical records. If somebody were to become a member and a week later they're at the endocrinologist, then our medical director would probably request those records to see if this has been, an ongoing thing. But no, we don't use the Medical Information Bureau.
Yeah, but I think that's important, Eileen. And listen, guys, she said it. We're all on the honor system. We want to answer honestly and ethically every single question that is asked of you. And because you try to do something like that and you could end up losing it. Okay. So you don't want to do that. And I don't think our members will. So, which is a good thing. Did have a question about dental. Is there anything in regards to dental, Eileen, that goes along with this?
No. And there's a company called Brown & Brown out there. We've vetted so many companies, but there's just not enough savings there.
Yeah.
For members. So there is a really good discount dental program, and I'm pretty sure it's called Brown and Brown, that we looked at, but it wouldn't be a fit. Plus with a dental, they have like a 6-month waiting period.
Right.
Like if you wait 6 months before you can get anything done, and we're member centric. Like we want to get our members, taken care of. And I think that upsets people. So we decided, no, we're just going to stick to medical.
Yes. Beautiful.
Well, Eileen, you have been awesome. And Brian, I think everybody's now going, okay, I'm ready. What do I do? Where do I sign up? And we've told them over and over and over, but I think if we show them,
yes,
they will go, oh, okay. So Martina, here it is. Look at that. You're in your back office. You're right there under membership. You can click there, my membership. You will see under lower my bills, you will see where we have the lower my bills, and then you have MWR HealthShare. You click on get started right there, and you have some video. Everything takes care of it from there. Very easy to find out, very easy to see it. So again, you go to your back office, you go to your business center, click on my membership. Then you go up to the top of the navigation bar under increased cash flow. You click on lower my bills. You'll see these two pop-ups, and you'll see the video the screen right there, HealthShare, and you see where Martina is kind of scrolling right there for the get started. You click on get started, and you're good to go.
Yeah, Martina, go ahead. Can you click on it, Martina, and take it to the next page? There you go. It takes you right there. You can get your instant quote on this page. You can get right here. You can enter in some basic information, get an instant quote. You can go up to the top of the page, Martina, and you can click on enroll now to complete your enrollment. You can scroll down. If you've got questions, you have a place on the page to be able to submit questions as well.
Okay.
Explore your options. So all of that stuff is right there. Unbelievable videos. Guys, whatever you didn't get here tonight, which I think Eileen did an amazing job, I highly recommend you go check out these videos because they're very detailed. They'll answer 99% of all questions, I'm sure. But I can't thank Eileen enough for being on here tonight. Again, Eileen, you've been absolutely amazing to work with, and I'm looking forward to a long relationship.
As am I. You guys have been a delight. Thank you. Thanks for inviting me.
Yes.
All right.
Thank you, Eileen. Well, with that being said, everyone, we appreciate you being here. You wait until next week. We have something else in store for you that'll be super, super exciting. But until then, go out, make a difference in people's lives. Let's make sure they have their HealthShare coverage handled with MWR. Let's go, everyone. Have a great evening. Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Bye.
Thanks, guys.
Take care.